can't help you.
No, no, I think I need a tongue away, but I can't. I now even forget if I'm gonna get it. So, yeah.
So, with this letter now, Karen, a lot of people want to know what drove you, first of all. That's the first question. What drove you to write the letter, Karen?
You know, I have read some comments. Lots of people called me. Phone was blowing from about 5:30 this morning. Got a lot of messages through WhatsApp. Lots of people called. And I have to tell them, and I'm telling you now, doing this letter and sending it out was one of the hardest things I have ever had to do. I'm going to tell you, it was very tough for me to do it. Why? I did the letter from the 4th of March, the same day I did the previous letter to the chairman of the disciplinary committee, Comrades John Jr. I held on to this one to give John Jr. some space and some time to digest what I said to him, which are some more things than was in this letter. I said more things to John that was in this letter that was released today. And I want to give him a chance to do that. I changed the date on the letter to the 16th when I went in to edit it and all of that. And it was a struggle, I tell you, comrades, it was a struggle. Why it was a struggle? It was a struggle because we're talking about lives of children. I mean, it was not an easy thing to do. I remember some years ago when Oprah used to do these whole heap of shows where people come talk about sexual abuse and stuff. And at one of those shows when she talked about her own story, her own experiences. There was this lady on Oprah show. She was 41 years old. White woman, come from middle class Michigan, come from a well-to-do family. 41 years old. And at 41 years old, she just feel the need to talk about how she was sexually abused by somebody close to the family. Mm-hmm. And when she sat there in Oprah's chair, Oprah had to get her wrench. Oprah was twisting and turning. Oprah had to climb mountains and ride bicycle across rivers. Oprah had to do ballet dancing just to pull out of her some of the things that she needed to say. Now, I would imagine that setting up that interview, she would have said some things to Oprah already, right? But Oprah had to drag it out of her, and this is what she said. She said this. She said, when my mother asked me, why didn't I say something at age 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, is when she was 18 and she left for college that it ended. And she said, when them asked her, why did she not say something? She said she don't understand how them don't get it. Because she's wondering to herself, what do I say? How do I say this to you? I don't know what you want from me because I can't say this thing. And even at age 41, she was having a difficulty saying it. So I am thinking to myself, all these young ladies, in my investigations, there's this one young lady who is 21 years old now. And she said to me, you know, I call my name. And I said to her, you don't have to worry about anything. I, Karen Cecilia Cross, have your back. I will never, ever let anyone hurt you. And I'll call your name, they have to kill me first. And I'll call your name, even if them jail me. You don't have to worry about me. You can trust me. But I've been telling her that for a year now, that she can trust me. And all of these young ladies know that them can trust me because I will never reveal their names or their locations and what happened to them. That is their story to tell. So everybody talking about how one person sent me this thing about how I could have handled it better because this now would destroy his professional and political life. I don't give a fuck about his professional and political life. I care about the young ladies who are hurting. They are psychologically damaged. They are traumatized. The pain, internal pain that they live every day. And you talking to me about his career? This is not about him. I said what I have to say about him. I say everything. I stand by everything that I say. And any place he want to take it, that is fine with me. because the Jamaican judges these days are not kind to well-to-do people who are molest young teenage girls. So I
Karen, do
don't
you think
care.
that's a general attitude? Do you think that's a general attitude of Jamaican people?
It is.
Where,
It is. Particularly the men. Their concern is about how it look on him. My God, man, have you considered for a minute a 15-year-old whose mother is poor and pauperized in a community where there are little, if any at all, opportunities to actually move up and move out. And she have a nice 15-year-old daughter and you like her. And because you like her and things tough and poverty and all of that, she love it. And she don't say nothing to. Those are choices some mothers have to make. And that beats up the mothers, you know. Those are choices, you know. One young lady who I have known for a little while. And she come with us and to the beach and we hang out and because we have a style to just drive in communities and get to know people and over that.
Yeah.
And when you talk about happy-go-lucky and inner the hype and rare, blah, blah, that's her. But when the evening comes and you sit down with her and you have all her vibes, you see on her. You see on her face, it wash over her. So people not understanding what young girls go through when they have to face this kind of thing. One young lady tell me that I don't nothing, me go down there, so I come down there, I go down there and yeah, I don't nothing. She said that, you know. She said I don't nothing. And then she said, do you know, if you go to the police, I tell the police I'm lying. That's what she tell me, you know. Yeah? People don't understand that when young children, 13, 14, 15, have to face this kind of internal strife with themselves, how damaging it is to them for a lifetime. I don't give a rat's ass about what him think and how him feel about anything. I care about the young girls. That's who I care about. And the position that they are in, the position their parents are in, that leaves them open to this kind of abuse, whether it's consensual or not. Because some of it was consensual, even though you're underage.
Well, a child that's underage can't make
no decision for his or herself. No. But if mama say, where you go? Now come meet Johnny down the road. Ah, all right. Tell him remember the thing for me. And him come with the grocery, and him come with the money, and him come with the stuff, and him bring this, and him bring that. And messing with a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming your mother. You know? And I'm blaming your mother. Huh?
I've listened to people and I've talked to people on this topic, and I've heard women who have been victims of this. They refer to they say that it's worse than murder because it can be a lifetime of pain, is what they say.
What you talking about, man?
So me personally, when it comes to them things here, me not take it lightly. I'm not one to victim shame or victim blame. I'm all about the perpetrators of these things.
The perpetrators. And the perpetrators are the ones who first want to claim victimhood. Them take on the victimhood to themselves, you know. Why are you doing this to me? To you? I'm not doing anything to you. Luther Buchanan, if you should tell the truth, and I didn't have no reason to. There's not a bad thing about him. Some years ago when I was young, we went down to Eastern Westmoreland to deal with YO thing. I was spending the weekend at the Buchanan's house. We used to love to do that because we love Mrs. Buck cooking. And we went in the Friday night, and a group of Luther's brother who died, Norman, brought a group of young people with him. And we're hanging out at a spot, we're eating and we're drinking. And there was this one young lady. And I'm telling you, Natalie, I don't like to big up myself about nothing. But because I raised 19 picnic,
oh God,
I know what to look for.
Yeah,
because I live in a community. Because I live in a community where everybody up into everybody business for good reason. We don't make nothing slide. Patrick Roberts can tell you up this side of Jerusalem, we into everything, we not make nothing slide. Nobody can escape her. We hear a woman, a cuss out, and we hear a woman a cuss, we fly out to find if some man a try something, we could get to kill him. That's how we operate.
Yeah,
So,
man. We like the community spirit there.
yes, man. So there was this one young lady. She sat there with us tonight. And after they dispersed a bit, I said to Norman, all the young ladies spoke except she. And Norman Buchanan said, yeah, man, there are some, some little things, some little things are going on. You have to talk to her, man. You have to talk to her. And the Saturday afternoon, after we done our meetings and we just rolling around in Darliston and the place, I had an opportunity to have a conversation with her. And I started the conversation by saying, so your friends were speaking, but you didn't say anything. She said, I'm a friend. Immediately. Me and them a friend. And I say, okay, they're not your friends. No, son, I know them. So why they're not your friends? Them chat too much and tell lie. Because obviously there was a thing going around that her father was molesting her. And the girls could not understand why she denies it. Nobody understand when a 13 or a 14-year-old child is involved sexually with some big ass grown man. And somebody start talk about it and the child says it's not true. Nobody don't understand that. Because that's the first defense mechanism any child put up. Which is why some of these young ladies don't want ever to be known. Because
it's to protect their perpetrator.
It's not protecting the perpetrator in their mind too much, you know.
It's protecting themselves too.
Yes, for them it's not about him. For them it's how you're going to look on them, what you're going to say about them. People are going to know, say me. Oh, they're God, not going to talk, and that is the internal destruction that comes with these things. So this fool can stay on one side, chatting foolishness, thinking that this is about him. It is not about him, nor his handlers, nor the people supporting him. And I'm not going to speak anymore, add anything to what I've already said, because I say what I have to say. What I'm saying to you now, what I want everybody to understand is that it was hard. It was very, very hard. I sat here at this very spot on this bed last night, and I struggled with myself as to whether I'm going to send this yes or no, because you can't put the genie back into the bottle. And I made one last phone call to one young lady. I said, I'm going to send out the letter. You know. I mean, she's a grown woman now. She lives abroad. I said, she's 22. I said, I'm going to send out the letter. She said, you know, call me name. You see our defense mechanism? You know, call me name. Yes, I promised you. Remember, I made a promise. I keep my promise and I went do that. So don't worry yourself. So I don't want nobody attack this thing as if them think I'm trying to mash up somebody's life. Why mash up somebody's life? Do you know how many lives have been destroyed in this one little thing? It's not even a big, widespread something. It's one little corner of Jamaica, one little thing, and lives have been damaged. People's internal being has been scarred for life. So let us sit here and chat foolish about what you don't know nothing about. So unless you know something about all of this shit, don't chat shit. That's all I have to say about that.
Karen,
no one need a drink.
One more thing, Karen. In the letter, I read where it said that you had made the leader aware, right? So is it a situation where you gave people an opportunity to make a different decision and then they fail to do so?
Not exactly. I don't know if when I made him aware, I don't think that it would have made any difference in what he's going to do. But what I had hoped for, I can tell you quite frankly, what I had hoped for is when I said to him, I was hoping him going to say to me, okay, Karen, I hear you. I have heard these things before because he cannot deny that he has not. There is not one officer in the PNP officer corps presently nor previously, who can deny that these things have been going the rounds for a while. So while I never expect him to change his mind about anything, about what I'm going to do, I expect him to say, well, okay, Karen, I hear this thing. He must have heard it from Maureen Weber. I mean, when she was the, they all them know. The whole damn lot of them. And who in that back, them know. They have heard it. And anybody who tell you that they have done investigations and find out that he never do nothing wrong because somebody called me and tell me that today is a damn lie. They have not done anything. They know. All of them know. They have heard it. I mean, they might not have the facts. They might not be able to put a face to something.
Right.
But they know. And I expected him to say to me, I have heard these things. I don't know if it's true. Or say to me, I have never heard those things. But tell me more about it. Who else should I talk to about it? Show some interest. Show some goddamn interest as the leader that you care about the young girls in the constituencies. Show some interest in that by saying that. He never did.
There should be an investigation based on...
There should be.
Okay.
There should be. And I know that them probably out searching and scouting the place.
So do you think that this compromises the party? I mean,
it made the party look bad. But then again, if you go back to your previous question you just asked me, it makes the party look bad. And the party leader apparently didn't care about that. It makes the party look bad. Of course it does make the party look bad. And it makes him look bad. Not my intention to make him look bad or make the party look bad. But I wasn't thinking about the party when I put these things down to paper. I didn't give a damn about the party, nor him, nor the party leader. None of them. I care about the kids. I them me I defend. And I'm going to lay down my life defending that.
How are they doing, these young women?
I would say about 2 or 3 of them who have done well in their lives. They make it through college. 2 of them is abroad. Yeah, and one in particular is having a really hard time. She's the one that you know, the CDA and them have to deal with. But she's all right. She's going to be okay. She's going to be okay because she have people like me telling her she's going to be okay, and making her forget, not to make her forget that she did nothing wrong, not to make her forget that a wrong was done to her she never had no control over. That is part of the healing process, to make her understand that this was not your fault, it wasn't your fault, you know, because it's always about trusting somebody. It's always about that. And that is where, before the pandemic, a group of us, some teachers from Air Selassie School and some teachers from Clancarty and myself, had gotten in touch with the Me Too movement people. And about 12 or 13 of us. And we were about to, then the whole pandemic thing hit that. And I'm going to try and see if we can get that back on track soon. Because this Comrades and our young girls. And it's plague in Jamaica. And it is prevalent, particularly in rural communities, dark nights, no lights, no nothing to do. It is accommodated by family members. And it is hidden by some parents. And let me repeat, I know parents. There's a parent that tell me, say, when I was telling her coming on your show, she said I can call her name. She named Liddy. And she sell a market town in Kingston here. And she say our 15-year-old giving her peer attitude for a couple of months, a couple of years ago. Girl started what kind of things, girl just gone at the time and everything she has shout and act up and go on with peer things. Poor lady. Deep rural place she live in. I have no time to figure out what is wrong with these teenagers because them act out all the time.
Yes,
you know? Yeah, and Lily sent her somewhere where the stepfather is to go deal with something. So she not go. She not go. She start ball flinging herself on the ground. So she not go. And one of Lily friend just look at her and said to her, you see, I pick the friend, I might look at the man and trouble picnic. Just like that. So Lily, she left town, left market the Sunday, Saturday night, and go home, go see him in bed. Get her machete and beat him to sickness. Beat him, him jump up out of the bed, she drag off him underpants, him run out the road naked. She beat him, bust up him head. He has not been seen since. That was like 2 years ago. So I'm saying some mothers take things into their own hands. You know? God bless Lily. And I was 7 or 8 of them. She's managing. But it's never about, I just want to repeat, it's never about the perpetrator. This is about the kids. It's about them, and it's hard. It's hard. I have one daughter. I have one grandson. I raised 14 girls. You hear me? And being targeted like this,
Yeah.
is not something that it's not something them want to talk about, Natalie. Them don't want to talk about it. Them don't want to talk about Mr. Big Man with them go with or spend the night at the hotel with. She are 15, him are 57. Them don't want to talk about it. Them even think that some of them even believe that there's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't know nothing. But in the quiet and silence by themselves.
They're hurting.
That's hard. They're hurt. And those that hurt the most are those who act out on their mothers, not the fathers. The mothers them act out on because they feel that mommy should protect them. You know? And I've seen instances where daughters are cuss mother because of similar situation. And the daughter get up and say, my dad, you not go out with him, go out with him. But I mean, it's not about him, it's about them. And I am going to protect them with my life if I have to. So everybody can come at me. Because in very simple terms, I'm not bad woman. I need a backative. But me, I got people who back me still.
Okay. Well, for a party that has a women's movement, I mean, not to say, because, not to cast anything on anyone, because, it's really between you and him, right? So I think that at this point in time, maybe either the party or maybe the women's movement or something like that needs to say, let's get this thing sorted out, clear yourself or not. But in the
women
meantime,
in the
this is
People's National
casting a really bad, dark cloud over the party to me. I
the
don't
women
know.
the women in the People's National Party are complicit to some of the things that the men do. One can never count on the women in the People's National Party to stand up for women. I'm telling you, it was the strangest thing.
It was never like that though.
No, not under Beverly Manley.
Right.
Not under Portia. But
right.
no.
My grandmother she and her sister used to be a part of the women's movement, I don't know about them something here. Where, I guess things are
Women
trying
movement
to...
let down women all the time. The women's movement, the People's National Party women's movement. And this is not a first criticism of them. They know that this is how I feel. And I'm not targeting anyone in particular. But the PNP Women's Movement is a reactive organization. They react to things. They're not championing anything. It's hard to champion things, though. It's hard. You need resources. You need people with time. You need people who are committed to the thing to get it done. And if you don't have that in your ranks, then you will just remain a plastic organization just there to prop up the men and call yourself the women's movement and sing this women's song and wear your whatever it is that you know wear, and that's it. It can't make it a real impact.
To revitalize that. It's really sad to see what the women's movement used to be, and for the past, I would say for the past 10 years or so, or even more than that, they've been very dormant, and I don't know why they don't recognize that majority of the electorate are women. And if you the first party and the only party to have a women's organization or women's movement, you have to be active, right, and effective to attract the electorate. So I think
They
the
are
condition you
active
point
in some
out,
ways. The women movement is a little bit active in some ways, but it's mediocre political activity. It's nothing to do with communities, and that is the problem of the PNP political organization. Them organizing around politics and not communities. Therein lies the problem. There lies the problem. Because if you don't organize around communities, you don't have nowhere going. You're not going to build no ranks. You're not going to get nobody to believe anything. You're not going to be able to even shape your own ideas and your principles and objectives, and even to be able to say what you stand for and what we are as a person. I mean, I can knock my chest and know what I am and know what I stand for. You know, if I give my word, I keep my word. I never go back on my
right?
word. You
Yeah.
know, I am a decent and honest woman, and I go through my life pretty much the same way. I treat everybody with that level of honesty. If you don't like it, tough by you, you know. And that just, if they're going to farm up all these groups, they need to justify by saying to us that these groups are going to start build organizations in communities, build communities. Forget about building organization politically. Build communities, because that will flow over into your political organization. If you lead it and building it, it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing. No matter where I go on election day, Patrick Roberts start losing mind if him do him come back soon. Because
Right.
once I arrive and all up a seat out of the road, all those who said them now vote turn up. That's how you build political organization, by building community bases. So your community people know that I do see the one Miguel him when there. Him up by me, I tell him to come back now. I see Miguel I come run to come vote. That's the kind of relationship you have to build with your community in order to get them to vote. Now I'm hoping that we can do more of that. So with all this group farming, I hope that's what it will lead to. Otherwise, no matter what them do, we will still burn it down. Because the People's National Party probably need to be burned to the ground for them to understand what people talking about and what people need
Yes.
and what kind of party the people need and what kind of leadership people need. And we will not hesitate to burn it down. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If it's even me alone, I'm a little crew from Jewsland. We will not hesitate.
You look like say that what that for going for true because the PNP have so much problem. I told them I talked to somebody and I
Mm.
told the person I said, what is going on right now with the PNP? Come like it worse than JLP in 2010 when Bruce resigned. And that's quite a comparison. But
Yeah.
at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, okay, you know, so after Bruce had resigned, there's light at the end of the tunnel because they can rebuild after that, right? Because they were at rock bottom at that point. But it's like there's no end in sight for where this kind of destruction at the PMP ends. You
The
see me I say?
JLP, the JLP took our playbook.
Oh.
They
But he
took our
never take them a
playbook.
time to come back, you know? He
They
never take
broke
them a time to come back.
huh?
He never take them any time to come back after that.
Now because the PNP became complacent, them in power too long, and everybody belly big, and everybody head swell big, and everybody car big and car hold nobody, them need big garage, and everybody pick they going to Florida every weekend, so them just not paying attention to nothing. That's what happened to the PNP. Everybody just get big nadocious, according to my mother, and braggadocious, and don't give a damn about those who supposed to keep them in power. And it's not the people move away from them, it's they move away from the people.
It's true, it's true,
Not
it's
the
true.
people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, many people don't like Patrick Roberts. And personally, I would rather have somebody else carrying the mantle of the constituency. Somebody else who can actually fight and do all this. But as a councillor, him still sit down up there, so, up on the bench and what we build on the palm tree, they won't plant. Him now move. Police have to come before he move. That's where him
Okay.
sit down every night. And nobody in the community now look for him. But people know if them want to see him, them go up on the bench and stuff. But nobody now look for him. Nobody have business with him. But not gonna go beg him anything. Because we establish a relationship with him, wherein and we are do thing when we need your help, we ask you for it. Him have
Okay.
some people where him deal with and some young people when him deal with them. But we don't respond. Him can't come out to come tell we nothing. And we are on the community. Huh? Him up there so the girl them a give laugh for gungo soup every day and night. And everyone go in yard. Him comfortable. Him comfortable. But I'm saying what the reason why I say this, and I'm not really bigging him up. But the reason why I'm saying that is because that's how politicians should be approaching communities. Yeah? That's how
Yes.
politicians should be approaching. I mean, I don't expect every council to find a corner where you can sit down until hours a night. But I mean, you don't leave the people, you stay with
You got
them.
to stick with the people, like
You
a
stay,
shepherd.
and, and,
Michael
and,
Manley
and,
said like a
yeah, and
shepherd.
let them show you the way because them can the politician can show we not here in Jerusalem. We are show them the way. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
how it is. So
Well,
I want
Karen,
to clear up some things for some people regarding all of that.
yes, continue to do what you do in your community. I think the issue that you raised with the PNP, it's it's not a novelty to a lot of people. You know, I think most of us are aware that this is like Al Jazeera called it. A friend of mine named geez, I don't remember now because she's not on my page anymore.
Mm.
She did a documentary with Al Jazeera, right?
Mm.
And it was about sexual assault and sexual abuse in Jamaica, and they referred to it as Julie Mansfield. You must
Ah,
have,
yes,
yes,
yes, yes. I
that
saw
was
that.
in Florida.
I
Yeah, man,
saw
good
that.
girl, that man.
He's a
And
friend.
yes,
She is very good and precise in how
she
she
understands
investigated.
it.
She is
She
very,
does.
very good. Give her a
I
medal.
was very glad that she got that interview done because
Mm.
they call it Jamaica's little dirty secret or something like that. Like it's an unspoken kind of thing that's in our culture, you know, that a lot of people either don't want to talk about and, you
It
know,
is.
victim blaming,
It is.
victim shaming.
It
So
is.
it
It
takes a
is. It
lot
is.
for people, a lot of courage for people to share that.
Mm.
And if you need my help as someone who launched the Women's March in Jamaica back in 2019, I
Mm.
have some resources that I can help with if you need it. So just reach out to me if you need to. And I hope that you and those
When the
women.
pandemic is over and we touch up that base with me too, we can knock the two things together.
Right. Okay,
Mm.
good. All right. Take care of yourself, Karen. Thank you
You too,
for coming.
darling. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's never a good conversation to have. But you know, I mean, if you see something, you know, and if you're aware that something is going on, I could not promote something like that. I could not promote, you know, people with a past like that. I just can't do it, you know. So it's really up to the PNP at this point. I think I agree that, you know, there should be an investigation, you know, and wherever the chips fall, let them. But in the meantime, boy, I don't know what else PNP can manage right now. Honest to God, it's really sad. But somebody said she was wonderful. Uh, if anybody in here knows Karen, please leave a little description of what she's done in the PNP. Because some people may not know Karen. You know, as someone who's been a member of the PNP from Wapikin Philip, been in the PNP YO from them time that we are back then. I think Paulette might know, and if Paulette could I type a look at description here, so let the people them see, and I'll copy and put it at the top there. So guys, if you don't know what letter I'm referring to, maybe somebody can type it in here, so, or if you haven't seen it. Um, I'm gonna have to get back with you guys another time. My daughter's friends are here, and their mom just texted me. So I told her I would bring them at 10 o'clock. I will play some tennis earlier. And it's about 10:20 right now. Me's a mother. I know if when time me ready for my daughter and from me pick up my phone and me not even answer, me start freak out. So I'm gonna call her back and take these kids home. I'll come back and talk with you guys in the comment section and hear what you guys have to say, you know. And as I always say a prayer for the party because the party really in a really bad predicament right now. And I feel like, you know, it can make progress, you know, it can get somewhere, it can get better, but you have to have people, you know, who are willing to work to help it get better and come outside of themselves and stop aiming just to have power and just to be in leadership when they can't really do what it needs, what the party needs to redeem itself and become functional again. We want people that are focused on rebuilding the party and not just focused on occupying the leadership of the party or putting in their friends and them kind of way there, right? We want people who are people focused, people who are futuristic. You understand? That's what the PNP needs. It can come back. It can. But it's a matter of, you know, the warriors them in the party need to stand up and take them position, take them place, right? And you know, let's work together and rebuild it. We're ready for work together and rebuild the party anytime. But I refuse. I'm not gonna be swayed. I'm not gonna be persuaded. Today somebody asks me, how can we compromise for the good of the party? I cannot, with good conscience, follow traitors. If you commit treason against your own organization, we can't turn back on you. That's just simple as it is, you know. So that's my position. You guys have a good night, and I will catch up with you another time. Take care.